from me. They just do it to me. I don't know why. That's why I wear my rubber gloves. And if I'm doing poppers, I will put a face mask on. So, hi, I'm Sherry, and welcome to the Vegan Boomer Babe, where it's never too late to go vegan. So I am here today to share with you a great recipe for jalapeno cream cheese enchiladas. This recipe I found it online, and it was not vegan. So part of my thoughts on why I wanted to do this YouTube video was to share with you how it's not hard to eat vegan, it's not hard to cook vegan, and so I'd like to get started today with our jalapeno cream cheese enchiladas. So the first ingredient that I'm going to use is one of my very favorite ingredients that I've learned to love after going vegan. And most people, if you're not vegan, you probably never heard of soy curls. If you are vegan, you probably love them. There's a company, Butler, I think they're in the Midwest somewhere. They make soy curls, and soy curls are there's one ingredient in soy curls, and it is whole, non-GMO soybeans. So this is a pretty pure ingredient. I buy these directly from Butler's. I don't know if they sell them they might sell them in a Whole Food store, a health food store, but I order them online. I buy a big box of them, 24 bags for about less than $100. But this is an 8-ounce bag, and it equals 1.5 pounds when hydrated of protein. So this recipe, really, I think a half of a bag would probably work for this recipe. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the bag open, dump it into the bowl, and I'm going to hydrate this whole bag because I'm going to make something else with it too, because it's always great to have soy curls in the refrigerator. So what I'm going to do today is like a chicken substitute. This recipe calls for shredded chicken breasts, so I'm going to use soy curls instead. So one of the things that you do with soy curls is you have to hydrate them. If you look at them, they're like chips almost. But what we're going to do is I'm going to add some room temperature water. Sometimes I add it right out of the refrigerator. So I'm going to fill the bowl with water, and then I have a teaspoon of cayenne and a teaspoon of garlic powder that I'm going to sprinkle over top. And then I have another really great ingredient. Soy curls is a fabulous vegan ingredient, but next to that would probably be our Better Than Bouillon no chicken base. So this is basically like, they make Better Than Bouillon in regular chicken flavor, but this is no chicken. This is totally vegan, and it works just like the non-vegan version. It is a kind of a liquidy kind of thing, and I add about a tablespoon of this right to my bowl of soy curls, and I just stir this around, and some of them are spilling out of the bowl, but I'm going to just stir this around until it is well mixed. So soy curls are like a blank slate. You can make them taste like anything. So sometimes I add the no beef bouillon flavor. I've made, you can substitute it for chicken. I've made pulled pork. So you can really do a lot of different things with these soy curls. So I really hope that you will give them a try. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to set a timer. Actually, I don't really necessarily have to set a timer. but I'm going to set a timer for 8 minutes. Our soy curls are ready. I've heated up some oil in a frying pan and just a little bit of the shreds, but I want to just show you how we work with these soy curls. So I still have the soy curls in the bowl with the no chicken bouillon, the cayenne, the garlic powder. So what you do is you just pull them out and you squeeze them. You squeeze the bouillon out of them. You want them as dry as possible. And then I simply shred them. Now you don't have to shred them. You really, I mean, for what I'm making, for making enchiladas, I think it's great to have them shredded because that will give you that shredded chicken feel. You don't want to stir them too much because you want them to get that little bit of brownness. Kind of looks just like shredded chicken. So I'm going to add a little salt and pepper to this, just because. And a little bit of pepper. There we go. While these are cooking, I have most of the ingredients that I'll need for our sauce already done. But I do have one of the ingredients that I have not yet cut up, and that is our jalapeno peppers. So, and I wanted to hold off on doing those because I wanted to show you a key ingredient when working with jalapeno peppers. Rubber gloves. I have these gloves. These are my pepper gloves. I don't use these for cleaning anything else except peppers. So I'll keep these in a plastic bag in my drawer. And if you've ever worked with jalapeno peppers, if this gets on your skin and you touch your eyes or your face, you're gonna know it. So I'm going to just get these peppers. They're already washed, and I'm going to take the seeds out. I can't even breathe these, or I'm going to pay for that. So I'm going to use a spoon and get the seeds out. And if I breathe this, I will start coughing. I don't know whether I'm just very sensitive to jalapeno peppers or whether this is normal. Roll my breath. Okay, pardon me. They just do it to me. I don't know why. That's why I wear my rubber gloves. And if I'm doing poppers, I will put a face mask on. So I need these cut very finely. So to minimize my exposure, I'm going to use my food chopper. It calls for a fine chop, which I can attain easily without breathing them so much. Love my food chopper. I couldn't live without my food chopper, to be quite honest. All right, I'm done with my rubber gloves. I'll put them in the drawer for another day. Okay. So my soy curls, just about done. Notice how they're getting a nice brownness to them. So I'm going to say that they are just about done. Flavor. Now remember, these were marinated in the bouillon, the cayenne, the garlic powder, a little salt and pepper. So that flavor is now infused in these soy curls. I'm gonna set them aside, and I'm gonna re-add these at a later time. So next, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter, plant-based butter, of course. This is, it's a little hot, so I'm gonna pull this back a little bit so we don't have it too high. And I'm going to add some Miyokos cream cheese. And I love the cream cheeses that are vegan. This calls for an 8-ounce carton of cream cheese. Remember, this was a non-vegan recipe that I am turning vegan. So this called for regular cream cheese. It called for chicken breasts. It called for butter. And I'm doing it vegan. So I'm going to stir this. And I'm going to just heat this up. And then I'm going to add some spices. I have a tablespoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of cayenne. Here's the garlic powder. I have the onions and the peppers. I'm going to add the onions. And I'm going to add the peppers. And I'm going to add the jalapenos. Not in this order, but we're going to make it work. Why not? All right. And then we also have a half a teaspoon of paprika, cayenne, chili powder, and cumin. So we're just going to mix this all together, and this is never going to work. But we're going to make it work. But you know, I have to say that I do like onions and peppers with a little crunch when I'm eating enchiladas. So I don't really care for really soft, because everything's soft. The cheese is soft, the tortillas are soft, so this will just give a little added crunch. And again, we're just improvising here now. I know. Cooking. I want to talk about my very favorite cheese in the world. Miyokos pepper jack cheese. Very, very hard to find. In fact, I order this online and it comes directly to the house, which is perfect. I used to buy it at Whole Foods in shreds, and I would use this cheese. You cannot tell the difference between this cheese and regular dairy Monterey Jack cheese. So this has a little bit of spice to it, and I love it for all kinds of things. I use it with just egg when I'm making breakfast wraps. Just kind of gives a little zing. So, okay. This is working. See, sometimes we make little mistakes when we're cooking. We think we know what we're doing, and then all of a sudden you think about something else and you put something in the wrong order. But it's all coming. It's all working. Okay, now I'm going to add our soy curls. Putting them back in, and I'm going to blend these around. Just kind of mix them in with this cheese and onions. Oh, I also added a poblano pepper. When I was adding the onions and the jalapeno, I also added, and this was not, they didn't call for that in the recipe, but I love a poblano pepper. In fact, I use poblano peppers in any recipe that calls for green peppers. I love the flavor of them. They have just a little bit of zip to them, and not spicy. So this is looking good. So I'm gonna just turn this off. Okay. And next I am going to put that over there. I have a little dish that I'm going to use, and what I do with any dish that I'm putting in the oven, because I always put everything in the oven. I think I mentioned that often, because I like to make dinner, have it all ready to go, and then throw it in the oven while we have happy hour. We live in Southwest Florida, and happy hour is a sport here. So I'm going to get this all set to go. I have some red enchilada sauce. It is canned, but if you want to make your own, feel free. I don't think it's that difficult to make, but I am using canned enchilada sauce today, which I like. So I'm going to just pull this out of here. This aside. Here we go. Be very careful. Things are hot. Gotta be careful when things are hot. You have to respect heat. I have my platter and I have my tortillas. So what I'm going to do is, one at a time, I'm going to roll these up and put them into my pan. So I have a spoon, and I have my sauce, and I have my cheese, my grated cheese, Miyokos, which I love. Okay, so I'm going to put about a spoonful onto the tortilla, and I'm going to put a little bit of cheese, just a little bit, because remember there was cheese in here, so we don't really need that much more. And I'm going to just roll them up. And you want to put them seam down. And I'm going to start on the end, and the next one. These are looking good. I think they're going to be fabulous. Who doesn't love Mexican? And we continue to roll them up. Again, roll it up, seam side down. And just scooch it down a little bit. And now we have them all in here. Then I'm going to get my enchilada sauce, and I'm going to just drizzle it on. I like, well, yes, it is more than a drizzle, says the cameraman. Yes, but that's okay, because this is what I wanted. Because I don't like them dry. But maybe you're right. Maybe drizzle is a misleading word. All right. So I want to make sure that they're all covered. And then I'm going to put some cheese on top of this, just a little bit down the middle, because again, of cheese within. And I do have some cilantro. When this comes out of the oven, I will absolutely put a little fresh cilantro over that. So here's a tip. I'm going to cover this because I don't like them crunchy. I will cover them and then uncover them. I'll cover them for the first 20-30 minutes, and then I will uncover them for the last 5 or 10 minutes. And that way they will be nice and creamy, not dried out. But then at the end, when I uncover them, it will just crisp them up just a little bit. So one of the things that I like to do, I use aluminum foil, and I get my olive oil spray, and I spray the aluminum foil, because nothing worse than having all of the cheese come off onto the foil when you uncover. So I'm going to just cover this up, and I will set this aside. And then after happy hour, or during happy hour, I'll put these in the oven. They will bake. I'll uncover them, and voila, we will have jalapeno cream cheese enchiladas that will be absolutely delicious. So I hope you will consider taking some of your favorite regular recipes, maybe even family favorites, and veganizing them. Throughout I hope you will come back I'm going to keep doing recipes that used to be family favorites or are new family favorites. But cooking vegan is easy. And if you would like more tips on how to cook vegan, click the subscribe button below. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me. And I will post a picture of how beautiful these are when they come out of the oven after our martini. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. The crunch from the onions and the peppers is fabulous. The sauce is perfect, and these are the best enchiladas ever. So, cheers.